Hey everybody, my last live share for tonight is John Hope Bryant, founder, CEO of Operation Hope, founder, chairman, CEO of Bryant Group Ventures, author of the best-selling book, The New Way to Lead in a Fear-Based World, Love Leadership, as well as How the Poor Can Save Capitalism. I spoke at Clark Atlanta University today on a civil rights and financial literacy message to the students there and the faculty. And I dropped a bomb there, and I also talked to Roland Martin about this after the Freedmen's Bank opening. I'm going to do this in parts because this is a deep topic, but let me just cut to the chase. The only thing, there's nothing that changes your life more than God or love than moving your credit score 120 points. I'll repeat, there's nothing that changes your life more. Hey, Najee Ali, who just joined, and Beth, who just joined. If you have some questions for me, put them in the comment section there. I got an appointment I got to run to soon, but I'm going to make this video quick, and I'll come back and do this again as a series so we can go deep. But if you have questions, add them there. I'll try to comment, respond right now. Hey, Beverly Rice just joined again, or I will respond later this evening. There's nothing that changes your life more than God or love than moving your credit score 120 points. You can't get a job today in half of American companies without them doing a credit check. And this is not just poor people. A friend of mine took a job at a huge corporation running a foundation, and they pulled her credit. She had been married, got divorced, all her credit cards were joined. He jammed her up. The guy jammed her up, left her with some credit card debt. There was some stuff on her credit report. She was making $500,000 a year. They would not give her the job until she cleared that stuff off of her credit report. So it affects every part of your life. But let me be even more specific. 700 credit score neighborhoods do not riot. 700 credit score neighborhoods are middle class mentality, and all middle class folks want to do is go shopping. They want to spend time with their family. They're not trying to riot, right? Sub 500 credit score communities riot. So I want to think about communities that you and I care about. Urban communities where we grew up or somebody we knew grew up. Rural, this is not a racial thing, by the way. Rural communities, there's more poor whites in America than poor anybody else. I'm going to start getting this to be race neutral. I want everybody in this conversation. All these folks trying to divide us and have us going in different directions, that's stupid. We are all in this mess together, whether you're white, black, red, brown, or yellow. You want to see some more green. Can I get an amen? Tell me amen right there. All right? Whether you're white, black, red, brown, or yellow, you want to see some more green. What does civil rights mean? If you deal with class, you get race for free. So let's take that piece out of this, right? Let's deal with this directly. So let's look at communities that you and I care about. Najee Ali knows what I'm, thank you, David, for the amen. Why do companies why do jobs require credit checks? I can deal with that in another post. I can't deal with that right now. That's just an is, man. I can't help the fact that some folks require a credit check. If you're dealing a job that deals with some fiscal or financial management, I understand why they want to check your credit. I mean, you would too if you own the business. But let's be very focused. Think about neighborhoods you and I care about that are stressed out, urban and rural. Here's what you find. A check cashier next to a payday loan lender, next to a renter-owned store, next to a title lender, next to a liquor store. And if it's rural America, same thing. If it's around a military base, same thing. They're not targeting you because of your race. They're targeting you because of your credit score. They are targeting a 500 credit score customer. And my job at Operation Hope, yes, all predatory, David. My job at Operation Hope is to rob them of their customer in broad daylight. We are moving credit scores at Operation Hope 120 points over 24 months. There's no magic. There's no mystery to it. We're working with people as a private banker for the working poor, the struggling class, and the teetering middle class. Folks with too much month at the end of their money. If that's you, say it here. Go ahead and admit it. Don't be ashamed to admit you had financial problems. That's part of our problem. Depression and shame and insecurity. We won't admit the elephant in the room. Everybody knows you're stressed out. You might as well just admit it. God knows you're stressed out. Just admit it. It'll take the stress off, right? I used to have a 500 credit score. I was homeless for 6 months of my life, lived in my Jeep. My credit was toe up from the flow up, right? Where's my wallet? I'll show you. I went from having a 500 credit score and being close to bankruptcy twice. There's what I have now. You know what that is, right? So anybody can redeem themselves. Anybody can move up. That's the beauty of America, is you can go from nothing and become something, right? So I relate to my clients because I was my clients. And there's, just because you have a problem doesn't make you a problem. So let's talk about these neighborhoods again. So the guy, I think it was David, said this was all predatory. Okay, so let's deal with that. So you have $1 trillion industry, ghettoized financial services, check cashers, payday loan lenders, rental. Do you know there are more check cashers in America than Starbucks? Do you know there are more payday lenders in the state of Alabama than the entire nation combined? So these folks are preying on folks with low self-esteem, who didn't get the memo on money, who weren't financially literate, who don't know what they don't know. I mean, we have one client, young brother, hardworking young black man, not one of these guys who you say, oh, he's a bum. No, hardworking black man, 2 children, working his tail off. And he had a medical situation, had to send his kid to the hospital, $300, went to a payday lender, wish he had gone to somebody he knew, but went to a payday lender, borrowed the $300 with an intention to pay it back. Life happened, couldn't pay it back the second time. I think he asked for 2 extensions, not 20 extensions, not 50 extensions. He wasn't hooked on payday lending like it was crack cocaine or something. He was a responsible guy. Asked for 2 extensions. Guess what he owed? $1,300. An effective interest rate of 651%. That's just highway robbery. It's modern day slavery. Ambassador Andrew Young said, to live in a system of free enterprise and not to understand the rules of free enterprise must be the very definition of slavery. Here's a drop the mic moment for you. Here's a drop the mic statement. There's never been a middle class riot in America's history. I want you to think about that. Challenge me now. Of any race, not middle class black, not middle class white, not middle class Latino, not middle class Indian, Asian, or other. There's never been a middle class riot in America's history. Only poor neighborhoods riot. Only 500 credit score neighborhoods riot. Because as Van Jones says, the best way to stop a bullet is a job. We keep arguing over this crazy stuff, and this is really a math equation. No different than slavery wasn't about race, because nobody cares enough about black people to bring you 10,000 miles from another part of the world to abuse you. It was economic. They were building a country for free, on your backs. Don't make it personal. Don't get emotional about it. Get even by becoming successful. They use you as human chattel, human property, human equipment. It was horrible. It was disgusting, right? But that's what happened. Right? And today is modern slavery. And then on the back end, they're building some of them are building private prisons, so they think that's where you're going to show up. Do you know that 22 governors will tell you by 3rd grade reading and math scores how many prisons to build? Think about that. So yes, while we need to fight police brutality, and yes, we need to fight systemic racism, we also need to stop showing up in jail. Stop being the guy or the woman that is easy to target. Because we're being pimped, we're being taken advantage of. As Malcolm X says, we've been bamboozled, we're being tricked. We need to understand the language of money. My next piece, I'm going to do it tomorrow, is going to go into how we even got here, right? And it's not what you think. It's not, oh, racism, the white man, or whatever anybody's thinking. No, it's none of that stuff. I'm going to break it down tomorrow, because once you stop chasing ghosts, and you start chasing real things, then you can reverse design it, and you can correct it. My job with Hope Inside, Project 5117 and Operation Hope, is to build 1,000 Hope Inside locations across this nation. We're right now opening one every 2 weeks. We have one in Ferguson, Missouri. It's really Jennings, right an hour outside of Ferguson, Missouri. I'm going to talk about Ferguson in an upcoming post. We have one in St. Louis with my friend Tashara Jones at City Hall. We are building 100 in Detroit, Uplift 2020 in Detroit. We're partnering with my friend Tanya Allen at Skillman Foundation to put initiatives in schools. I'll talk about that on a future post, talking about the youth strategy. We are helping adults to transform their lives. I'm going to give you 920. I'm trying to give you one quick sort of practical example of how we do this. So we go into Memphis, Tennessee, SunTrust Bank branch there. The bank is almost by law forced to be in the no business. By law, if they don't take your application, they're discriminating, all right? So they have to take your application, but they know when they take your application, any bank, that you're not going to be declined. Be approved. They know right there. When they check your credit, they know they can't tell you. By law, they can't tell you. They got to go through the entire 45-day process by law to then tell you you're going to be declined. So luckily, SunTrust was smart enough to put us in the branch, next to them. Lady walks in, gets a $140,000 application, gets declined. So she's upset, rightly so, wasted her time. The branch says, look, go talk to Operation Hope. We're coming to Baltimore, by the way. I said we need it in Baltimore, Byron. In fact, BB&T is bringing us to Baltimore, so we'll be there. So she comes over to us. Make a long story short, we figure out what's going on. We pull the credit report with her permission and with her involvement, because nobody needs a handout. You need a hand up. I want her to be empowered to do this for herself. We work with her. She raised her credit score. I think it was 80 points in 3 months. She goes back across the hall. She had a 550 credit score. Goes back across the hall. Now she has a 640 credit score and gets approved. Same mortgage, $140,000 to buy a home, to put dignity and a roof over her family's head, get her out of being a renter and being an owner, being a taxpayer in Memphis, Tennessee, at a better interest rate. Her color didn't change, her race didn't change, her income didn't change. All right, so if somebody's discriminating against her or didn't like her because she was black, none of that changed. What changed was her credit score. We gave her the chance to have a shot, human dignity for herself, and she did all that work. Now, how do you do this? If you have a 500 credit score, you don't check your credit. How do I know that? Because if you check your credit, you wouldn't have a 500 credit score because there are errors on your credit report. It's not rocket science, right? That's just, it is. So when we work with you to remove the error by challenging the credit bureaus, Equifax, which is one of our partners, the CEOs on my board, Rick Smith, good guy, TransUnion, and Experian, those are three, then you got MyFICO. When you challenge them, they have 30 days to respond. They got to pull that off your credit if they can't confirm it. If they cannot confirm that something's accurate, when you challenge it, they must pull it off your credit report within 30 days. That is the law. So now your credit report gets popped 30 points, maybe even 40 points. So now your self-esteem is up. You're like, okay, I can do this. So then you say, okay, well, what's this other thing on there? I see a Pacific Bell charge $1,000. There's a phone company used to be, now you know what I'm talking about, in California, Pac Bell. Oh yeah, that was mine. I was divorced, and I ran the phone bill up, didn't pay it. Yeah, that's 10 years ago. Well, Pac Bell was bought by SBC Communications. I think it was bought by AT&T. They don't exist anymore. So, but at the bottom of this, it says Joe's Finance Company bought this debt. $1,000 debt. I guarantee you, Joe's Finance Company bought it for $50 on account. $50. So when you and me call Joe's Finance Company, they're going to ask for $100. They want to double the profit on the $50, which is capitalism. That's fine. Fair exchange is no robbery, to quote Rod McGrew. So they're going to say, I want $100 10 years later. We're going to say, we're going to give you $200. What? Why would you pay me $200? I only want $100. I want to pay you $200. And I got my client on the phone here, and this is Operation Hope. We're aligned with all the federal regulatory agencies, so you are on record now. I want you to write a letter to those credit bureaus confirming you're pulling this off her credit report and that her debt is confirmed, whole, and complete. You do that, I'll double your money. So he got, or she got, a doubling of his money, and you got a discount of 80%, and all it got wiped off, and you got a pop of at least 30 points, but really, that's probably more like 20 points additional on your credit score. Now, there's a lot of other things we do, but that's just sort of taking the mystery out of it. We're the private banker to the working poor, the struggling class, the teetering middle class, folks with too much month at the end of their money. We're here with civil rights to help you set yourself free. This was longer than I expected, 13 minutes. I hope you found this useful. Tiffany is talking about the Hope Inside we had with First Tennessee, in Memphis. So Sinette was asking, where do I find you in Memphis? So we're at First Tennessee and SunTrust banks in Memphis. We're opening up at least 20 locations throughout the city of Memphis. In Atlanta, we are at SunTrust banks, BB&T, and a few others. If you're in Macon, Georgia, we're with Synovus Bank. Not Macon, we're also in Macon, Georgia. We're in Columbus, Georgia with Synovus. In Birmingham, Alabama with Regions Bank. And again, opening locations on a regular basis. Okay, hope this was helpful. Don't feel like a victim ever again. I want you to take control of your life. That's what this series is about, giving you in bite-sized pieces what it's taken me a lifetime to learn. Set yourself free. Don't let anybody take advantage of you, pimp you, and play you in broad daylight. We are living in slavery today, and we think it's normal. It's not normal, and it's not okay. Check cashers, payday loan lenders, rent-to-own stores, title lenders, they're robbing you in plain daylight, and I'm going to rob them of their customer overnight by empowering you and helping you help yourself. Your 9 to 5 will then give you power to use your 5 to 9 to change your life. Peace out. Civil rights.